Hey, welcome to Learn About Astronomy, and this is a special video for Wednesday, January 8th, 2014. We are in the middle of a very active period. The past 24 hours have been extremely active on the sun. There's a giant sunspot. That's what you see at the bottom of your screen. If we look, and if I can actually put the sun a little smaller, you can see that this is the solar disk, and you see Sunspot 1944 is at the bottom, that big sunspot that's spreading quite large on the solar surface. A little above it, you see also 1943, I believe, which is another sunspot that is quite active. They seem to be kind of matched together because they seem to have interactions with the magnetic fields. So this big sunspot is in the middle of the solar disk. It's actually pretty much pointing at us, and it's been flaring in the past 24 hours. And big flares, we've reached a X 1.7 flare. That's major. The biggest flares are in the X range. You got three types of solar flares: the C, the M, and the X flares. The C are the small ones. The M, you can take it as a medium flare. And think of the X flares as the extra powerful flares. So this one released an X 1.7, which is a pretty big flare actually, and it's actually pointed directly at Earth. So it means that there's probably a CME, or a coronal mass ejection, that's actually coming towards the Earth and should reach it apparently tomorrow, Thursday, January 9th. Sometime in the day, early, some say early January 9th, so that could be as early as late evening North America or during the night. So it's kind of hard to know what time it's going to arrive. That's always a big problem in discussion. If we look at the flare itself, the CME, here's a animation of the CME. So this is from the SOHO spacecraft. What you see, that kind of expanding cloud, is the CME that was sent into space from the Sunspot 1944. You might notice that while the cloud is expanding, the picture becomes full of little dots, white dots and streaks. That is the protons that come from the sun. So when there's an explosion, there's high energy particles that hitting the satellite sensors, and it's actually making all these dots. This has created for now a S2 radiation event. Radiation events around Earth go from S1 or S0 when there's nothing to S5, basically the strongest radiation storms. So S2 is a good radiation storm, but it's not very strong, but it's there, and you can see it on the little pixels there that show up on the camera. So this is the CME that's coming towards Earth. It's apparently merging with another CME that was sent a little earlier. So because this one is a big explosion on the sun, what's happening is that it's faster than the first little CME that was released about a day earlier. So it's catching up, and they're going to merge together, so this could make actually a bigger geomagnetic storm on Earth when it actually hits our planet. Now, don't be afraid. This is not the biggest solar flare ever, but it's worth mentioning because it is really pretty much Earth directed, and because it's going to merge, I think we should see some pretty big geomagnetic storming on Earth with our planet. So Aurora Borealis should be in the skies tomorrow. And even if you're a big city, keep in mind that at any time you can have these Aurora Borealis become so bright that it can be seen even in the middle of a city. So this is what it looks like here. If we take a look at images to show you how big 1944, so this is Sunspot 1944, was taken by the National Observatory in Malaysia by Karzaman Hamad. Sorry, this is what it looks like. This is 1944, and if you want to see and compare how big it is, look at Earth. That's a correct to scale representation of Earth compared to the sunspot. So on the lower right, you see the Earth, and you see the sunspot. Look how big it is compared to Earth. This is quite amazing when you come to think about it. And this is the sunspot that's flaring. And another reason why it's important to keep a watch on it is that it probably hasn't finished flaring yet. We've had a X1.7 yesterday. It was followed early today by an M3, I believe. So it means that flares are still possible. There can still be another X flare today or an M flare, and all these flares add up. And since it's geoeffective, it means that all these flares are sending out particles that will reach Earth in the coming 24 to 48 hours. So keep in mind, if you're a radio amateur, if you listen to shortwave radio, if you have a sudden blackout of radio communications, don't be surprised. This sunspot can really do it. And actually, when it flared an X flare, there was a radiation storm and the radio blackout. Actually, all the sunlit side of Earth, when the X flare exploded a few minutes later, had pretty much the ionosphere was really hit hard, and pretty much all shortwave broadcasts on the sunlit side of Earth were kind of blacked out for about an half an hour to an hour. So it shows you how it can affect our region. So this is 1944. It's crossing the solar disk right now, and it's probably one of the biggest solar sunspot in many years, actually. We haven't had such a big sunspot in this cycle yet, I believe. So this is really an amazing little spot there, sunspot 1944. So it's worth keeping a watch. If you have solar glasses, this sunspot is so big you can actually see sunspot 1944 to the naked eye. You don't even need to have any objects. And actually, I'll try to make a video and show you the video through my camera. I'll be putting a solar filter in front of my digital camera here and try to actually take a picture of it. And so if you want to have more news on what's happening with this sunspot, great websites available. Solarham.net has real-time data of what's happening with the sunspots and everything, so you can see all the information. You should really go there. And here you see updated 1540. There's a geomagnetic storm watch. So there could be a really big geomagnetic storm, actually. And it says here there was a strong X1.2, a velocity of 1,000 kilometers per second. So this could trigger really big geomagnetic storms. Sorry. So this is really nice. An M3 flare, as you see here, was detected earlier today. And so you should really keep watch for what's happening. Another great website, don't forget the website for spaceweather.com. Spaceweather.com, great website if you want to learn what's happening. They are pretty much almost real time, so if there's another X or M class flare, if there's a geomagnetic storm in progress, everything's on this page, spaceweather.com. Go and get the information there so you can see what's happening, and keep in mind that these are really good websites to learn more. So keep watch. If you're in a dark area and are wondering if there's going to be some geomagnetic activity and stuff, well, if you're in a dark place, a small city where the sky is pretty dark, take a look, especially if you're in a northern hemisphere, a high northern hemisphere, 40 degrees or more latitude north, and even people that are watching from the south. Take a look. There could be some really big, really good aurora borealis in the next 24 to 48 hours, so it's something to check for, and take note of that. And even if you're in a big city, if you see a really big geomagnetic storm that is mentioned here, why not take a look? You'll never know actually what can happen. I've seen geomagnetic storms here in the middle of Montreal many times. When they're really strong, they're so bright that they can actually be seen even in a big city. If you enjoy our videos, please subscribe to our channel. You'll be informed when new videos are online. If you have any comments or questions on what you've seen, let us know. Maybe you have a feature that you'd like us to talk about, let us know, of course. And hopefully you'll be taking a look and checking out the solar activity. So thanks for watching, and hope that you enjoy our videos. Bye-bye.